Our friend Jimmy in Penn Hills, you can see videos of him. He was just wild.
NSFW, though.
Yeah. Make sure you're doing it at work where you're allowed to swear, or else
Earbuds in or something.
there's trouble. And we went ballistic whenever the Steelers lined up first and goal from the 5 and threw the football 3 times and then opted for a field goal as opposed to running it or at least giving it to Najee Harris or having a fullback on the field or doing anything on the ground. We yelled and screamed and went crazy, and rightly so. Although the third down play, if it would have hit as designed, it would have been a touchdown. It was a short throw to Ray McCloud. What I'm getting at is this. People were mad, and they should have been. It was terrible coaching, terrible play calling, ridiculous effort from Matt Canada. I like some of the stuff that Matt Canada's doing. I do. I wonder if he has all his personnel, if he has, and they've dropped a million hints about a mobile quarterback. It's obvious they want a mobile quarterback, and that's what fits the system best. But I don't want it to keep going bad. Look, I want the Steelers to win in their last 8 games. That's the truth of it. I root for the Steelers. Is there a way it could go so bad where he could be one and done, though?
Canada?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
I
don't disagree
so
with the
either.
concept, but I think they are still all sold down there on Rudolph and Haskins battling for the job next year with Canada as their OC, and they look at that as a positive. Again, I take Mike Tomlin's words post-game, which were almost glowing about Mason Rudolph. He did what we expected him to do. He gave us a chance to win the game. Not on that third down play, as you point out, Colin. I think Canada will be back. I do think you have to. You can't do it with these two quarterbacks.
Do you have to evaluate him? It's much like Derek Shelton. How the heck do you evaluate Derek Shelton with no players? How do you evaluate Matt Canada without a mobile quarterback?
Right.
Is there a?
I don't know if you can. You can't accurately assess what you've seen.
Do you have to give him, Jim, a time and a season with a guy that can move around a little bit?
I think so, but then they have to bring one in. They don't have one. Haskins is not a quote-unquote mobile quarterback.
No.
He doesn't fit that bill at all. There are probably people that think just because of the color of his skin that he's a mobile quarterback. He is not. Josh Dobbs is, but I don't think Dobbs has any kind of a
I'd
future
bring Mariota in.
It's not a terrible thought. You bring him in as the presumptive starter or to compete with these
I bring
two?
him in and I draft somebody. I have now talked myself into a clean sweep of the Steelers situation. You tell Ben, you tell Rudolph, you tell Haskins to hit the damn road. You bring in a guy like Mariota, and you go ahead and you also draft someone as an understudy in the first or second round. Give me Pickett. Give me the guy from Liberty. Give me Jerkovic.
Yeah.
I love it. And that'll be the guy, potentially be the bridge guy, the next guy. You bring in Mariota for a year and see what he can do and get somebody to move around.
I'm not entirely against it. I mean,
Tell all 3 guys to hit the road. But it starts with answering that phone call when Ben says he wants to play again and saying, thanks, but no thanks.
I do think you have to they are going to want to have someone, and I don't necessarily disagree with this concept either. They're going to want to keep somebody around who knows the system, right? Because in their mind, that's always their fail-safe, right? Oh, well, this guy knows the system, and that's Rudolph, right? It's always,
Keep
he
Dobbs
knows
as
the
a
system.
third guy.
He knows, maybe, that's not a terrible idea
either.
either.
He's been a quarterback's coach for a year and a half anyway. Here.
Right.
Here's the thing.
It all starts with Ben. Thank you.
Something that's real
We'll
interesting
have a nice
to
ceremony.
me. If you watch the Steelers sideline when everyone's healthy, okay, and you talk about knowing the system, and that's a very astute observation by you. But watch the Steelers sideline. How often do Ben and do Rudolph talk during the
Never.
breaks?
Ben
and the
goes to
timeouts?
Dobbs.
Dobbs is like the Ben whisperer.
Right. But then watch other NFL sidelines when there's a timeout. Well, you watch a million games. You watch the red zone. The quarterback and the backup always come together.
Even Jordan Love is leaning in with Aaron Rodgers looking at a tablet.
Right. Heck, give me Bridgewater for a year.
I mean, here's the catch to all that. To all the veteran quarterback talk, and I don't necessarily, like I said, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. It comes back to the concept of don't put that quarterback. I don't care if it's Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins, Marcus Mariota, Mitch Trubisky, Teddy Bridgewater, whoever it is. Don't ask them to throw 50 times in that situation.
I agree.
Lean on your damn first-round running back.
But they have, Jim, I've never heard them drop hints like this mobile quarterback stuff on what they're doing.
I do agree with that. That's I've been at every Tomlin thing pretty much, and that really has stuck out to me this season, how he's mentioned it. And he's been enamored with those guys before. When they would talk about facing, whomever. I mean, they brought in Michael Vick. And every once in a while they'll face it, like Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields, right? When he talked about him. That was all this year. I think the thing about just cleaning house at a quarterback position, the Steelers are so reluctant to do that, but that's where you're treading in that 8-1 territory.
Well, and that's why they're treading.
Yes,
Because
I
they
don't disagree with
refuse
that.
to rip the Band-Aid off.
Any alternative is just delaying the process.
Yeah, as it may turn out, and we have to see how this plays out. But you guys talked about it, and we'll hear from Tomlin today, and there won't be anything definitive. I would be shocked if there is about any of these injured guys. But it's starting to look like this would have been a good time to do what we had talked about in the offseason, or cut the cord with Ben. And okay, you've got the defense in place, but what if all these guys are hurt or they're unavailable, and all of a sudden it's what are they going to have left? It just may turn out that way, and I kind of don't blame the Steelers for saying how we're competing for a Super Bowl every year, but I think at some point you have to face reality.
Yeah, and that reality's got to come at some point.
That reality kicks you in the face when you tie the Lions
Or
at home.
Ben's going to be 64 years old and just still on one-year contracts telling them he can play. Honestly, where?
Will you still need me when
Right.
I'm 64?
You're out of your mind.